Hello everyone. As we discuss serious issues here, we have to from time to time just lighten things up because that's the only way we can stay sane and stay connected. And right now, as sad as it is, River State is the one that is playing that, giving us that drama. And Fubara, so there's the live band. Fubara, day your day, hey, make I day my day. Nobody worry, no. But anyway, just hear them.
For the interest of our dear states. Thank you, and may God bless every one of you.
Nobody worry, nobody worry, nobody oh day, oh day. Ah, day by day. Day by day. Nobody worry, nobody.
I sing day your day. Everybody say day in something. Day your day, I day my day. It's a day in something. Nobody worry anybody. Everybody will continue your own work. Where somebody say one worry somebody, na there wahala dey. As my papa go talk am, he say if you want peace, be prepared for war. Honestly, I mean, it's just so crazy what is going on. But man, the most heartbreaking thing is the fact that it's at the expense of the state. Otherwise, this public humiliation, we can eat it. We know to say somebody needs, that thing about pride goes before the fall, right? That's exactly Wiki on this whole issue. It's just amazing. His arrogance of the last 8 or maybe like 12, 16 years, right from when he was like Patience, Jonathan's boy, as minister, he had favor with her. That was when their whole fight with this person, what was his name? Oh Lord, Amechi will start and stuff like that. So it's been on this high where he begins to believe that he's something. The worst thing that can happen to any human being is when you begin to believe that you're something and you become arrogant. Because at the end of the day, we are all nothing. One of the things that keeps me humble about life on a very serious note, like, let me take it, serious. This video has gonna be serious. One of the things that humble me about life is how we know nothing. We don't know what is going to happen to us the next second. As him, I don't know whether I'm going to hit my leg. I don't know whether I'm going to hear bad news. Even things that have happened, until we are told, we don't know. So then that makes us what? That makes us nothing. For me, that thing alone is always so humbling that this life, we don't even know what's going to happen to us in this life. We are all waiting. We are not saying, 2023, we are looking forward to 2024. We don't know. 2024 is pregnant. Tomorrow is pregnant. Next second is pregnant. We don't know what's going to happen. There are a lot of people who entered 2023 with us, who were, screaming and everything. At the end of the day, some of them have not even made it up to today. And some of us that have made it up to today, we don't even know whether we're going to make it out of it. So these are things that keep people humble. That's one things that keep me humble. When I see people like, oh, you're so humble, like, what am I supposed to be? I'm just a nobody on this earth that knows nothing, that my life is just like that. I don't even know what's going to happen to me the next second. I don't know what has already happened until somebody tells me, that kind of a thing. So these are things that really, for me, they really keep me humble. When I see people behave in such arrogant manner, behaving as if they own the world, I'm always surprised looking at them. Because me, as you see me like this, I always say 2 dates that normally depress me, although now with my birthday, I'm trying to change my mentality on my birthday. These 2 dates are actually my birthday and New Year, and they are just a few weeks apart. You understand? I think they're about 2 plus 17 days or so apart. 12th of December is my birthday, and then you have January 1st. Because on my birthday, I'm like, I used to look at it that if I celebrate it, what if that's the last birthday and I'm busy here celebrating it? And when it comes to New Year, I'm like, I would say this is something that even like from when I was a child, I said like from age 13, 14, 15, this thought that I've always had. And then New Year's, I'm like, what if I celebrate the New Year and it is the year that I will not live? Meaning it's the year that I will die in. then what have I done? That's always so, I always feel so depressed on those days. But one of the things I'm trying to do now is actually to take every of my birthday as my last birthday and really celebrate it. So when I see people being so arrogant, honestly, I'm always surprised. I'm thinking, what the heck do they think they are? We are all nobodies, we are all nothing, and we'll return back to earth nothing.
Because by the time I was speaking with you last week, I had become completely convinced that we had come to the end of analysis, that the season of looking to explain things to you, to teach you, to mobilize you, to try and get you to understand that whatever I might be doing, I was seeking to do only in enlightened selfish interest. Let me repeat that. Enlightened selfish interest. It is in my selfish interest that Nigeria works. It is in my selfish interest that my children do not become refugees in other countries. It is in my selfish interest that this country realizes its potential. It is in my selfish interest to make sure that even if Nigeria cannot be retained as it is, it does not break up in a war. That the people are able to speak with each other in a manner that allows them to resolve their differences. It is in my enlightened selfish interest to make sure that Nigerians come to the knowledge of the fact that they are better together as one. And then as one, they move together to unite the rest of Africa, understanding clearly that we're in a race. When they talk about the human race, there is actually a race. We've been left behind. We're not only left behind, we're in shackles, and we're still where we were. In fact, we've been drawn further back. We were dragged into a race and then handicapped in that race. I need us to get to that point where we understand that it is in the synergy of our diversities that we can rise up as one and allow ourselves to join the human race. So I felt that that was done and that we had come to the point where we needed to be taking concrete actions. I felt that we were there. So I said, that was the last for the year. But I saw reactions because I'm seeing comments, and I said to myself, I wasn't also completely convinced that I had communicated this. So I allowed myself to be persuaded to have one more before the year is out. The presumption of man that we will live forever leaves us to leave things till tomorrow. May God spare each and every one of our lives so that we're able to do the things that we have desired to do. But the key thing is, I am grateful that I allowed myself to be persuaded, because the more I have taught since last Sunday, because usually my assistant would come to me on Friday and ask what I would love to speak about on Sunday. So when she asked me, I told her I wasn't sure just yet. That it took me a while, and then I said, okay, go with snookered. It could have been end of discussion. It could have been the moment of truth, because what I have laid on my heart to share with you this morning is the inevitability of the choice that has been placed before us. The fact that we should move away from this analysis paralysis that has stopped us from acting. The need for us to also understand that we have to build coalitions, large tents, capable of tolerating each other's differences and diversities, even as we pursue a common goal. But what is snookered? Snookered is when, if you've ever played the game of snooker, or pool for that matter, or billiard, the board games, when a person is prevented from playing the legitimate choice unless he overcomes an impossible odds. I have had occasion to speak about Nigeria as the Riemann hypothesis, that is the unsolvable equation in mathematics. But I believe that it is also possible to speak to our situation as being snookered. But a lot of people are snookered, and people are reacting or responding in different fashions. How come we're snookered? The Constitution, fraudulent as it is, laid out a pathway for change. Then they brought the Electoral Act. They said to us we could vote our way out of the mess into which we had been enmeshed. And then a candidate came up, a leader came up, sparked popular imagination. And enough of us, in spite of any reservations that we might have had about his person or the past, found enough in him to queue behind him. And the system, the entire system, the Nigerian state, the entire system coalesced together to make sure that we couldn't. It was brazen, it was in your face, it was it couldn't get any more brazen. It couldn't possibly have gotten any more brazen. From Yakubu at INEC to the Supreme Court, every step of the way, impunity, in your face impunity governed the system. But that found legitimacy in the divisions that had been caused because we're busy bickering with each other. They had enabled all the levels of division. Those who were busy shouting Yoruba, calling the likes of myself and Ayo and a whole heap of people, everyone who was critical to the unthinking madness of following a criminal to war, they're not paying any less in prices today. We're all paying. The stupidity of a few was allowed to overshadow the reality of the fact that the yearning of the majority is for change. Let this sink into your skulls, whether you are Yoruba, Ronu, or you're one of the Igbos who have embraced the hatred, or you also have your own ignorance that is peppering your snail. Think about it. Obi won in Lagos, and he didn't just win, he won by a landslide. Tinubu did not win a single local government in Lagos State. That was what led to the desperation of Orojide, Sonwoku. It was the desperation of what they saw on the 25th of February that led to the madness that you saw with Oro in every part of Lagos. They knew what happened. Shegun Agbaje, the neck in Lagos, I think they call them the resident electoral, he knew what happened. So please don't let's be allowing ourselves to, don't even start it. Don't even allow ourselves to be distracted from facing the fact that whether you are Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, this Lagos, I don't know about any of, I can't speak with clarity to other parts of Nigeria, but I can speak to Lagos. Overwhelmingly rejected the idea of a Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency. But we allowed ourselves to be snookered again. And every level participated in that snookering. The clergy. But they too are now snookered. Have you noticed? I don't know what the Muslim ones are doing yet, even though I've seen a few, especially the ones in the north who are busy endorsing Muslim ticket. coming out to recant and beginning to regret the idiocy that permeated the choices that they made. But have you noticed the Nigerian church is segueing away from prosperity theology? There is a new crop. They are preaching liberation theology now. The church is segueing away. They realize now. You see the first few. I've seen them online. Liberation theology is a recognition of the poverty that is now inherent in the prosperity and hope merchandising that had or marked the exertions of the Nigerian church in the last 20 plus years. Because everybody is now snookered. How can you be preaching prosperity to people whom you have helped to impoverish? So now is theology, is liberation theology. The church has always been the outlier because the Spirit of God is real. What they do with it is another ball game entirely, but that is a recognition of the fact that the church has been snookered. Those who were preaching liberation theology yesterday, how full are their churches today? Because they've gotten found out. The sheep are no longer as stupid as they once were. They now understand the fact that you're just using them. So, they snookered. You'll start seeing the same liberation theme playing across channels, in music, in art, because everybody is now snookered. The age of new beginnings are upon us. The age of new beginnings are upon us. Yes. If you doubt the fact that we can't continue where we sat, I'll remind you, Ariwola's brother is the one auditing the National Judicial Commission now. So I could get my wife to audit me as well, I guess. Yeah. Bukachua did tell us exactly how judgments or justice are delivered. Good Ed is already telling us just exactly how much impunity has governed the exertions of Mr. Wike. But me and you know that nothing will happen to Wike, just like nothing happened to Magu, just like nothing had happened to Adisirika, just as nothing had happened to a whole heap of people who have done a whole heap of stuff, smack bang in the public space. These issues are simple. They're simple because we're the ones who have allowed these things to happen, because we've allowed ourselves to be snookered. But that is all in the past. Remember what Amechi said to us. He said, what do Nigerians ever do with the knowledge? What? What do we ever do with the knowledge? Oh, by the way, Yakubu is still in office. He's planning the next elections. Is actually superintending off-season elections. The same Yakubu. Snookered. They jacked up electricity cost a few weeks back. Did you notice? They know you don't pay attention anymore. You're just trying to survive on a day-to-day basis. Snookered. Somebody once painted a picture of us Nigerians. Said that when we get pushed to the wall, we have a tendency to dig under the wall and keep digging just to keep running away because we are almost entirely focused on survival. That's our way. It's the Nigerian way. And we all believe that we should exist where we are at. But I have two issues to deal with, and then I'm out of your face. Recognize the fact that we are snookered, yeah. But let me show you something. Like I said already, we're done with analysis paralysis. The next time I'm sat in front of you in the New Year or New Year's Day, it will be me telling you, by the grace of the Almighty, how we proceed from here. But before I go, let me share this, and it ties in with the theme. I attended the 40th year anniversary of my secondary school set, passing out. We graduated in 1983. And as I saw people, some of whom I hadn't seen since we left secondary school 40 years ago, I realized how much I have aged. I realized how much I have aged because I was looking at them as mirrors of me. And even though I was kidding around in the room and calling people old men and old women, I also realized that I'm just as old, even though I might have been the youngest in the class, probably like a year or two younger than those I was calling old men. And it struck me, because some of us have died already, we remember them as we gathered. And it struck me that whilst we have bickered, deterred, time has passed. We've all become as old men because we've become old. And whilst we have deterred, the system has become entrenched because the same issues that were present in our youth are the very same that have become fully fledged monsters that we're dealing with today. Monsters that none of our children are equipped to deal with. So I believe that as time has passed and the problems have grown, and we have talked or acted in dumb quixotic manners, thinking that we could deal with a systemic problem by reactions, the system has grown even more evil and more toxic. So, in the coming year, understand very clearly that whilst we shall remain very peaceful, and that must continue to be reiterated, we must also be clear-eyed about exactly what we're dealing with. Like I said at the beginning, I could have titled this "End of Discussion." We could also have titled it "The Moment of Truth." The moment of truth is when you come to the knowledge of the fact that this is what you have to do if you must deal with an issue. You may now blink at the moment of truth. You may elect to betray your conscience at the moment of truth. But I am just spending the last part of this year, this talk, to let you know we have arrived at that moment of truth where we are simply going to have to do something if Nigeria is going to change. It's the end of discussion. We've all been snookered. The system itself is snookered. They will be looking to normalize. What are they normalizing? Your slavery and those of your children. So if you're snookered, like we've been snookered, if you're in jail, like we're all in jail, literally and figuratively, you're either going to have to accept the fact of your enslavement, or you'll be prepared to break the chains of enslavement. You know what those 10 lepers said? If we die, we die. They didn't carry guns. They were walking to the camps of the enemy as best as they could. We're not going to carry guns, but let's stop fooling ourselves. We've been snookered. The system has delivered on our enslavement. It's legitimized slavery. It's up to us to break out of it. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But be clear about something. It's the end of discussion. Be prepared in the new year. God bless you all. You know what the Yoruba say? Kidun popo, shim lobe oge. Simply means if a word, I'll interpret it that way, a word is enough for the wise. Enjoy your holiday season. Do your best to enjoy your holiday season. It's the eve of battle. God do it though. Don't let December be so dirty you can't pay your bills in January. But do have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Shalom.